So we have Tony Soprano walking into a diner, okay? So he's sitting in the diner, and I'm just going to break this down because what is happening here is David Chase and his crew, the way that they had written this is they're trying to train you to see certain things. So if you notice what just happened there, um, the scene is going on. You hear the clink of the door opening. There's a bell that rings. What happens is every time, there it goes again. Every time you hear that bell, they show Tony Soprano's reaction, and then they show who's coming in the door. So really what they're doing is they're showing Tony, and they're showing his perspective. So what does Tony see next? Okay? So here you go. You hear the bell, you see Tony look up, and then you see what Tony's seeing. So they're trying to train you. They've done it a few times already. They're trying to train you on, like they use these rhythms so that you can associate with certain things and have a certain, they want you to think something, okay? So another interesting point, and this is very, this is very subjective. Keep this in mind. Notice what Carmela talks about when she brings up Meadow. Meadow had to go to her doctor to change her birth control because it wasn't working. So really, if you really dig deep into that, what's happening there is that Meadow is in some way, she's basically taking it into her own hand. And I'll let it play here. So she's changing birth control, so she's basically preventing life from happening or existing. So just keep that in your head, okay?
You talk to Mink again?
So I'm going to pause this right now, okay? If you remember what I was talking about when there was, when someone walks into the restaurant, how are these people introduced? You hear the clink of the door. They show Tony Soprano's face, his facial reaction, and then they show his point of view. So they've done that 3 times already. Now I want you to focus on this one right here, okay? All right, so I'm going to pause that right there. So what had happened was, instead of going in that rhythm of hearing the clink, seeing Tony's reaction, and then seeing who's coming in the door, they showed who was coming in the door first. And why did they do that? Because they wanted to basically show that this person coming in the door is different than everybody else. There's something different about them. And now one of the laws or one of the rules, it's Alfred Hitchcock's rule of, I forget the actual name, but the bigger you are on the screen is the more important you are during, during that shot. So this gentleman who walks in right here, number one, you're gonna notice when I start playing this again, he actually walks and almost covers a good maybe 2/3 of the screen. And look who he's covering. He's covering AJ, Tony Soprano's son. So they basically said that this person here is more important right now than AJ is. I'm going to play this for you and let it go. All right. So they really wanted to point him out. So that was really big. Okay. Notice where AJ sits down. They cut back to him, show that he's a little bit nervous. Now, Meadow comes into play. Now, the interesting thing here is, and you really have to kind of stretch this meaning, but, if you're ever into the Godfather movies or whatnot, a lot of times there was big time symbolism, and I believe that that's what David Chase wanted right here. She was going to switch her birth control, right? So we talked a little bit about that. Now, we're going to see a sequence of Meadow trying to parallel park her car, and she just gets it wrong, and it almost makes people really anxious, and they do that on purpose because they want you to feel that something is not right. All right, probably parallel parking her car seems like she's having a really difficult time, and it shouldn't be that hard. So something is not right here, and it has to do with Meadow. cut back to this guy. He's kind of checking out Tony.
How's work today?
Oh, I'm doing a getting coffee and placing English phone calls.
You may not realize it, but you are making contacts.
It's an entry-level job. Buck up.
Alright. Focus on the good times.
Don't be sarcastic.
Isn't that what you said one time? Try and remember the times that were good?
I did?
Yeah.
Well, it's true, I guess.
So we cut back to Meadow at this point. She still can't park her car. And if you noticed, the one thing I want to point out is up until now, they've always been shooting, or they've always been filming the booth that Tony, Carmela, and AJ are sitting in. They've been filming it from one angle all the time. And if you notice, when Meadow is going to enter, she's supposed to be sitting beside Tony Soprano. Okay? So play this. So now they obviously cut to Meadow. They did this purposely, right? They cut to Meadow still not being able to park her car. It's really frustrating. And they cut to this person who seemed really nervous walking in. They made it very clear that this person plays a key role. Okay? Look at the next camera angle and the movement of the camera. All right? So we have Tony noticing him. And then look at this. We're shooting from the other side of the booth. This is the very first time we're shooting from this side of the booth, and the camera is moving to reveal something. Okay, so the camera moves, it reveals that this person is heading into the back. He's probably going to the washroom, and if you look at it, where's Meadow supposed to be sitting? Meadow's supposed to be sitting right beside Tony here. So this is kind of showing if this person is trying to take Tony Soprano's life, he has a free shot at Tony Soprano if he were to shoot him or whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to continue playing this. So if you notice there's other people that are walking into the restaurant. However, you don't hear the clink of the bell. You don't hear any of that because that's no longer important right now. Okay, so now the suspicious character gets up and goes to the washroom. They're really focusing in on him. Now, I think Meadow finally gets her car parked.
What I had noticed up for the table.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here because now you got to go back and think to that whole sequence of the bell ringing, showing Tony's facial expression, and then showing his point of view. Okay, that is extremely important. So I'm going to play this. All right. You hear the bell. They show Tony's reaction, and the very next shot is a black screen, which means that's his perspective. That's his point of view. That's what he's seeing. Well, what they're trying to tell you is that he got shot. Tony Soprano is shot because he doesn't see anything else after this. He gets shot from the side, and this is his point of view. So a lot of people can argue this, and I'll say that this is our opinion. I can't say 110%, but there are certain reasons why all of these different variables were put into this last scene, and I strongly feel that they were put there for a reason, to make you believe something or to give you the hints to figuring this so-called, I guess, mystery out. So I'll let you watch it one more time, just the last little part. I'm going to hit play. So Meadow's coming in. You hear the clink of the bell. You see Tony. Bang. He's shot. He doesn't see anything else because this shot over here is supposed to be his point of view. So in short, that is how we feel The Sopranos ended, with Tony getting killed.